In this video, I want to take a few minutes to give an overview of the research-based response paper project. Hopefully you'll be seeing this video in the first module of the course, but keep in mind that this is an assignment that comes up in the very end of the course in the last module. But I want you to be thinking about it as we go through the course. Here's the link to the assignment itself. It references this list of interpretive questions. And so these two documents kind of work together. I'll come to both of those in a minute and maybe look at an example of one of these. In the assignment, give the kind of basic outline of this is that you'll choose one of the interpretive questions in Module 1 as the basis of the research paper. Remember, the research-based response paper assignment requires you to discuss at least one work from at least two of the major periods covered in the course. And roughly that's the period between the Civil War and World War I, World War I and World War II, and then the post-World War II era. That's the basic periods that the course follows. So you would choose perhaps a work from one or two works from the first period and compare those works to how later works deal with the same topic, either in the between the wars era or the post-World War II era. So as any research project, its purpose is to hone the skills of critical reading, analysis, research, synthesis of evidence, the basic elements that go into any project in academic writing, whether it's English or another subject. And together with the working bibliography assignment and the paper, the two together account for about 35% of your final grade. The length of the paper is around 2,000 words, then plus a works cited page. And the most important requirements to keep in mind is that you'll use the primary text. Those will be the fiction, the poetry, the drama that we explore in the course of the course. So a short story or series of poems, or maybe the play we read, those are the primary works. The secondary works are critical essays or biographical sources, historical sources from academic scholarly publications. You can find these through the library's Literature Research Center or ProQuest central databases. So secondary works are the works about the literature. The literature itself is the primary works. The scholarly sources that discuss them are the secondary sources. A few comments about structure. You'll find a lot more information about the paper in Module 14. I'll actually duplicate some of the resources in Module 1 and in Module 14. But the most important thing is to say right now is that after you examine the interpretive questions, if you want to discuss one of these topics, get in touch with me. We can do this via Zoom or via email. But the sooner we talk about it, the better I think it'll be for you. It'll kind of focus your reading throughout the course of the semester. And if we go back to Moodle, the interpretive questions are set up this way. So there's a number of themes: childhood, initiation into adulthood, marriage. You'll see the female characters, male characters, this theme of alienation, which is common in literature, especially 20th century. The African American experience. Those are 6 kind of general themes that I've identified. I present here a specific interpretive question for each one of these. And then I list some works that you might consider. You don't need to include all of the works that I list here. One from this group and one from another group would be sufficient, or you may have, you certainly don't want to write about, say, more than 3 or 4 works at the most. If you're discussing more than, let's say, 3 works in this paper, you'll only have space to do a fairly superficial job on any one of them. So maybe one work from one period, 1 or 2 from another period is the best approach. Now in this lesson, breaking down the research-based response paper project, you'll find a lot more information about the assignment, some hints about developing the project over the course of the semester. I'll let you explore that on your own. The other document here is the working bibliography assignment. That assignment is discussed here in some details. Basically what I'm asking you to do here is to identify at least 12 suitable sources. These are secondary sources, not the primary sources. So these are the sources you'll find in the database or the ebook collections on the library website. So it's a working list of documents that may be helpful for you in developing your paper, but the sooner you begin the process of identifying sources, the better off you'll be. And this also gives me a chance to take a snapshot at your research before the final paper is turned in. So again, that has a deadline sometime before the research paper is due, but they both come at the end of the semester. You'll also find a lesson in which I break down the working bibliography in more detail as well. There's a video that shows you how to access ProQuest tutorial about using the databases in the RCC library. There's a sample working bibliography in addition to the assignment. I've also included a series of short videos that you're free to watch at any point in the semester where you think it might be useful. These are videos about writing about literature, including a number of the topics. Sometimes I've had trouble accessing these in Chrome, so whereas Chrome is the sort of official browser for Moodle and other sources, if you have trouble accessing this, you might try Firefox or another browser.